Good morning, everyone. My name is Mighty Stream. I'm going to do your November the 6th. Can't see, guys. I think it's November the 6th. Good morning. I'm going to do your November the 6th just for today in a meditation. And a special shout out to the lady that let me know that I was doing the spiritual principle day, but I titled it verbally as the just for today. And I appreciate help like that. So thank you very much. Okay. The title of your meditation for today, Understanding Humility. Humility is a result of getting honest with ourselves. Basic text, page 36. Humility was an ideal so foreign to most of us that we ignored it as long as we could. When we first saw the word humbly ahead in step 7, we may have figured it meant we had quite a bit of humiliation in store. Perhaps we chose to look it up in the dictionary, only to become even more confused by the definition. We didn't understand how lowliness and subservience apply to recovery. To be humble does not mean we are the lowest form of life. On the contrary, becoming humble means we attain a realistic view of ourselves and where we fit in the world. We grow into a state of awareness founded on our acceptance of all aspects of ourselves. We neither deny our good qualities nor overemphasize our defects. We honestly accept who we are. No one of us will ever attain a state of perfect humility, but we can certainly strive to honestly admit our faults, accept our assets, and rely on our higher power as a source of strength. Humility doesn't mean we have to crawl life's path on our hands and knees. It just means we must admit we cannot recover on our own. We need each other, and above all, we need the power of a loving God. Just for today, to be humble, I will honestly accept all facets of myself, seeing my true place in the world. For the strength I need to fill that place, I will rely on the God of my understanding. Let's take a moment of silence, followed by the we version of the Serenity Prayer. Moment of silence now, please. God, grant us the serenity to accept the things that we cannot change, the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Just for today, please and thank you. Humility, understanding humility. I think understanding it is a process. Understanding humility is a process. And I think the average reader of this meditation knows the definition of it, um, the Webster Dictionary definition of it, and the Living Life definition of it are different, right? I truly believe personally that I was humiliated in so many ways before I got to recovery. And oftentimes, I would say probably used to get away from the feeling that it created in me. Okay, so I'm being humiliated, and the feeling that it's creating is not humility, right? Feeling humility. It's feeling shame. It's feeling guilt. It's feeling anger. It's feeling oftentimes fear. The humiliator sometimes uses tactics that create subtle fear or just outward fear in a person. So fear would be a feeling that I can remember. Um, I said resentment, shame, right? Maybe even guilt. And when you're dealing with a narcissist, right, it's, feeling guilty that you even had the thought of doing such a thing or saying such a thing or behaving in such a way, right? There was one other feeling that I wanted to touch on, but that captures it pretty much, right? So here we are coming from a world of active addiction into a world where we're cleaning our mind, our body, our spirit, our soul, right? We're cleaning ourselves up. We're experiencing this spiritual cleansing. And through that process, however, it takes as long as it takes, right? But through that process, we will find that there's times when we don't know where the line of demarcation is between truly being humble, humility, right? And being humiliated. And sometimes we will assume the posture of the same posture that we had in active addiction, right? Some anger and resentment and pain behind needing to be humble, to exercise humility in a given situation. And we can blow the opportunity because we're operating out of something that is from the past, our lived experience with being humiliated. So what does that look like in real life? That looks like going to a meeting and the chairperson says something that you don't like to someone that just shared about maybe the way that they're sharing, wanting to have the format respected, right? You feel that person has been humiliated. So you go to interject. And the chairperson calls for a moment of silence and says, I really wasn't talking just to you or even them. Just a reminder that this is our format. But you don't let it go. You keep making a big deal out of it. And now the whole meeting is in an uproar because you were assuming humiliation was taking place. But in reality, it was just maintaining an atmosphere of recovery. You've turned the whole meeting upside down, the tables and everything, right? Over this ideal that someone was being humiliated. Whereas humility or being humble, right, would have allowed you to keep your mouth shut because you know full well that the chairperson has to maintain an atmosphere of recovery. And this person was basically so belligerent in their share, malicious style, and cross sharing, sniper sharing, that it was the appropriate thing for the chairperson to change the atmosphere, to stop their share and ask them, just remember the format in your share, please. I'd like to take a moment of silence, followed by the reversion of serenity prayer, and then you can continue your share for your final 2 minutes or whatever, right? Humility would allow you to stay out of that. Okay, that's just a real life example where we kind of blur the lines and we don't have to. So today, what I want us to do, this is a real story, actually. It's my story, right? I've done it. So what I would like for us to do is to go forward in the day with it in mind that we need a mind shift about what being humble is. And ask the God of your understanding to help you see where you can improve in that area. Because you can't get it perfect, right? But we can try to ask your higher power to help you see where you can be more humble in any given situation and actually promote peace rather than confusion today. My name is MightyStream. I've enjoyed talking to you. I hope that you have a beautiful day on purpose.